Welcome to the Vibrant You Health Show with your host, Blake Bars. At Nature's Pantry, our mission is to lead you to vibrant health through the best nutrition, supplementation, service, expertise, and healthy choices. In this show, we aren't interested in fads or quick fixes. Rather, we want to get into the holistic fundamentals of health. We want to answer questions like, what are the underlying causes to health issues, and what solutions can help lead us to vibrant health? You can watch every episode and listen to the podcast by visiting our website at naturespantry.life. The Vibrant You Health Show is brought to you by Terry Naturally Vitamins and Solar Ray Vitamins. At Nature's Pantry, we strive to work only with companies that maintain the highest standards for quality and efficacy. Terry Naturally and Solar Ray are two of the absolute best.
3, 2, 1.
All right, welcome everybody to the launch meeting for the 10th edition of the Vibrant You Health Challenge. It's so good to be getting ready to launch this thing off with you guys. I'm so glad for the over 80 people who are entered into this one. And we're just looking forward to getting this rolling. And thank you for joining us. So my name is Blake Bars. I am the owner-operator of Nature's Pantry and the founder of the Vibrant You Health Challenge. We've been doing this since early 2020, and it's been a big blessing to get to be a part of it with so many of you. So, let's talk a little bit about the Health Challenge and what it is, where it came from, and why we do it. We've been trained pretty much from birth to think that health comes from a hospital or from a white coat or through very expensive medical procedures or through pharmaceutical drugs, and that we need really expensive insurance to cover these exorbitantly expensive medical care costs. And don't get me wrong, the doctors and nurses, medical professionals, some of the nurses I've know and that have helped me and my family, they have the hearts of mothers and the strength of soldiers. They're some of the most amazing people I've ever known, and I'm so grateful for all they've done for me and my family. And certainly, some of the medical advancements we've had in recent centuries have been amazing and saved lives. If I get in a car accident and break my leg, take me to the ER. You can keep your damn essential oils. And so when it comes to acute trauma, life-saving measures, it's amazing. But it seems like oftentimes we forget some of the basics. It's glad. The point is, I'm certainly glad we have these wonderful people and these life-saving interventions. We should not, at the same time, we should not forget that some of the most powerful healing mechanisms that God has made are free, like prayer, breathing, fresh air, water, exercise, fasting, sunshine, sleep, hydrotherapy, grounding, music therapy, stretching, nutrition, herbs and plants, forest bathing, light therapy, urotherapy, human touch, hugs, natural frequencies, generosity, temperance, and self-control, faith, love, hope, purpose, positive thinking, the gift of salvation, God's love, positive and encouraging words to self and others, gratitude, thankfulness, and appreciation, to name a few. Through most of human history, people didn't have to think about living natural human lives. It was the only option. But today, we can live an almost entirely artificial life, indoors, surrounded by artificial light, plastic, cement, petroleum, synthetics, glued to screens, without real human interaction, without fresh air, without exercise, without sunshine, putting our faith and hope in man rather than God, alone by ourselves in sterile environments, pumped full of heavy metals, toxins, antibiotics, drugs, alcohol, pornography, and artificial lab-made synthetic food-like ingredients. And if that doesn't depress you, but it's a unique time in history. In times past, the only option was real life. You had to work and exercise. You had to be outside getting fresh air and sunshine. You had homes and living environments were made from natural materials. Real food was the only option. Real face-to-face human interaction was the only interaction. We're in an interesting situation today where we have to relearn how to live real human lives, the lives we were made to live. You know, as a nation, we are the sickest and most medicated people on the planet. Although we're the richest and most medically advanced, we're the sickest and most medicated. We are suffering from chronic diseases like heart disease, diabetes, obesity, cancer, autoimmune disorders, gut problems, and so much more. We have replaced the fundamentals to health with fast food and quick fixes. But we don't have to conform to this pattern any longer. And that's what this health challenge is all about. Reminding us, teaching us, and encouraging us to put into practice the simple, real, free, and powerful health principles that will lead to holistic wellness for our mind, our bodies, and our souls. We want you to have the maximum quality of life possible so you can love, serve, and fully live the life you were created for. So, what is the Vibrant You Health Challenge? What is VYHC, and why do we do it? You know, we all know about diet and exercise and other healthy habits, but we need reminded, guided, and supported to pull it off, especially in our modern world where bad choices are everywhere, abundantly available, and for $1 everywhere around us. The Health Challenge puts us in a position of guidance, accountability, and encouragement from health pros and from other challengers. The Health Challenge was born in January of 2020, before the pandemic, ironically, and it's kind of cool how that kind of originated that time. I think maybe God knew that was coming. We did 3 challenges that year in 2020, and through that time, those of us who did the Health Challenge really practiced these fundamentals, were positive, were proactive. We had strong habits that gave us a strong immune system and overall health. And focusing on some of those things that maybe some of the mass media conglomerates weren't quite communicating to us. But, you know, at Nature's Pantry, our mission is to lead people to vibrant health through the best nutrition, supplementation, and healthy choices. And in early 2020, as I reviewed the goals, our goals for the new year and what we do at Nature's Pantry and what our mission is, our mission to lead people to vibrant health, I knew we could talk to people about healthy diet and lifestyle till we were blue in the face. But unless we came alongside people and help them to apply these principles in their daily lives, they wouldn't see the power and they wouldn't get the results and they wouldn't stick with it. Recently, I was fortunate enough to visit Weimar, which is a health institute. It's a university and a school and a clinic, and it's just an amazing place that teaches people diet and lifestyle. It's a faith-based health recovery program. And it was absolutely amazing. I learned so much, and a lot of some of the recent changes in the Health Challenge came from my experience there. But also that experience there affirmed so much of what we do in the Health Challenge. But in one of the lectures there, Dr. McIntosh, he said this, that hope is 2 things, the will to live and the way to live. The will to live without the way to live is just a wish. And so we don't want you to just wish. We want to show you the way to live, the old, forgotten way that God intended for us. The Vibrant You Health Challenge, VYHC, is a 4-week health challenge where we track daily points for nutrition, hydration, sleep, exercise, prayer, positive thinking, supplementation, and so much more. This challenge is not about weight. It's not a fad diet or a quick fix. It's about learning small habits that lead to big change and vibrant health for life. And you don't need to be intimidated. This challenge doesn't have hard rules or restrictions. It's about progress, not perfection. We lay out a simple program based on proven health basics, and it is adaptable to you and where you're at in your life. And so we are so glad. I am so glad. The health pros are excited. All the challengers I've been talking to are so excited that you are joining us, that we're about to launch these things off, because there has never been a better time to strengthen your overall health and quality of life. So let's get off to a great start, because you are worth it. All right, so we're going to jump into a little bit of how to and some functionality of the challenge and how to do certain aspects of it. So I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to show you a couple things. Okay, so there's two main websites that you really want to know for this health challenge, and really the app, where the app is. So for quite a few challenges, probably the first 7 or 8, we use paper forms to keep our points. But over the last couple of years, we've been developing this app where people can keep their points in the app, and it has been really a game changer. I love it. So many people have just mentioned how it makes it so much easier. It also makes it really easy to see your ranking and how you compare it to other challengers. And of course, that's anonymous if you wish it to. Your alias that you set up in your profile will tell you whether you can put your name, or you can put a nickname, or anything you want. I personally want my name there because I like the accountability, and I like kind of other people to see where I'm at. And so I have my name, but if you don't want, you can certainly put something else. So here I'm at the app. It's VYHC.life. And this app is not an app you download from the App Store. It is not one that you can get that way. We wanted to go outside of the App Store, so we developed it as a web app. So it's just basically a website. And so if you want a little shortcut on your phone, you can certainly create one. And that is different for iPhone and different for Android. But if you do a quick Google search on how to make a website shortcut on your homepage of your phone, it's pretty simple. I've done that. I know many people have as well. But yes, so here we are at the homepage of the app. And as you can see, we have many options. There's a link to the Nature's Pantry website directly. You can shop online here. You can go straight to the show, which has many of our podcasts and has all of our podcasts and shows, interviews I've done with doctors, has many of the past Vibrant Your Health Challenge episodes, just a ton of really amazing content. Also some classes, health challenge classes and cooking classes. You can contact us here. And this is an admin, so you won't have the manage link. But then under your profile, if I click here, what I can see is I can change my alias. Right now it's Blake Bars, but I can change it to whatever I want. I can change my profile picture. I can put my personal goal in here, and you'll see why that's important later. And then I can select whether I'm a Plus member or a free member. But ultimately, if you want to be a Plus member, there's some other steps for that, but I will get into that later. So there's your profile. Then we'll go back to the home page. So here's kind of where the nuts and bolts are. You can enter today's points, the score sheet calendar, which kind of shows you your points for each day. Challenge ranking. So let's just start here at the top. If I want to enter my points for the day, which I already did, because I'm going to show you guys a little more on this later. I enter my points for nutrition, for fasting and TRE, supplements, water, sleep, exercise, stretching, all these categories I filled in my points for. And then I save them, and I can go to the score sheet calendar, and now I can see that on this day I had a really good score of 267 points. And then if I want to go back to the home page, so you can see what you'll see here is when you go to challenge ranking. So on July 14th, on this Sunday, when the challenge starts, that'll be the first day you enter your points. You will select on your, if you want to see your ranking, you will come down here. See, here's challenge 9 that we finished last time. And that was my points total. I think I got like ninth place or something. A lot of amazing people in that challenge. And then here's 10. So if I want to see my ranking in challenge 10, we don't have any points in here yet because it hasn't started. But once it is, you'll see yourself highlighted in green, and you'll see everybody else and where you stand. Then we have, if you want to become a Plus member, you can pay for VYHC Plus for $99, which gives you access to the whole program. And that is, if you want some more details about that, you can reach out to me. That is also on our website. You'll be able to see at naturespantry.life if you go to details and registration. Also on our website, naturespantry.life, and the Health Challenge, there's a link for details and registration, and there's a link right to the app. So if you forget what the website to the app is, it's right here. But here you'll be able to see some details from the flyer. That's our advertising flyer. And then there's some more details here. And this talks about, here's why you should register for VYHC Plus and what all is included in it. It's an amazing program, you guys. You're definitely gonna love to be the Plus members. The several Plus members we already have are gonna be super excited about what this all comes with. And then, as you can see here, there's also the schedule of events. So we have many amazing events we have planned. This is all new to the Health Challenge. We've never done this before, this many events. Group workouts. We're super excited about that. We're going to have Misty, my wife, and Jess, the assistant manager in Nature's Pantry. They're going to do lead hikes up Mira for those people that want to join them for that. Lisa and Justin are doing a group workout at Island City Park on July 17th. Also, we're having a class. Lisa's teaching a goal-setting class on July 18th. Every Monday morning, Misty and Jess are doing that same hike up Mira. And then we're going to have Nicole and I are going to do a workout at Peak Lifestyle. It's going to be a strength workout for all levels. And then again, a group workout with Summer and me at the LHS track on the 25th. Tim's going to teach a detox class on the 25th that evening. We're going to, again, every Monday is the hike. There'll be another group workout with Lisa and Justin. Nicole will do her 7-day reset class. And we keep going. As you can see, there's several days that are options. There's several times that are options. As a Plus member, even if you only did a few of these, you're still going to be getting a tremendous value. The amount that's packed into here is well over, you can't even put a price on the whole program. So it's an exceptional deal. So if you want to be a Plus member, don't worry about that you can't make everything. Even if you make a few things, you're going to be definitely getting your money's worth. I love this. Summer and Justin are doing a mobility and back pain class on August 8th. And then this will be Sunday, August 10th. It's the last day of the challenge for completing your points. And then the next week, we're going to do our exit review, biometrics, and finale dinner with all the health pros. So we're looking forward to that. So a couple little notes. All the VYHC classes and workouts are free for VYHC Plus members and $10 per event for non-members. Ask me if you want to become a Plus member. You can email me or text me. Most of you should have my info by now. RSVP for each event ASAP, no later than the night before. So look at the schedule, look at what you want to do, and then text the appropriate health pro, their name and number under each different workout you can see. And so make sure you RSVP for all the ones you want to do and put them in your calendars. Okay, so we'll go back to the app here so I can get right back to the app straight from the website. It'll take me here. And then I have a shortcut on my phone, like I said. This video, the launch video that you're watching, will be linked right here once I get that uploaded. There's a link to challenge documents. And this will have the schedule again for you. It will have all the challenger commitments. You have a commitment. I won't read through all these in detail, but this would be a good thing for you to know what you're committing to and what we're asking people to try to accomplish during the challenge and put their best effort into. Also, you will find the movie and book and cookbook list that has all the recommendations for movies and books that you can get lots and lots of bonus points during the challenge for. And we have our approved oil and sweetener list. So you'll see in the challenge when you're keeping your points, we're supposed to avoid unapproved oils and unapproved sweeteners. And so if you're curious what those are right here on this list. And you can link that straight from the app homepage. There's a link to challenge documents. Then we also have this. Everybody needs to do one of these liability waivers and sign it and turn it in at the store at Nature's Pantry. So we'll get you these in person at the events, but this is a requirement for everybody in the challenge. Okay, so let's go back to the app. And again, there's a link straight to the VYHC Facebook group as well. If you want to go there, if you're not a part of that too, you just get in here and request to join, and I'll let you in. Usually doesn't take me but a day or two to get you in there. You can see there's lots of stuff going on here already. So jump right in there and post your pictures and your events. The Facebook group isn't a requirement of the challenge, but it is a nice way to stay engaged and keep each other accountable and encourage one another. And then again, so the Nature's Pantry loyalty account, this is a requirement this is required if you want to get the Nature's Pantry discount for health challengers during the challenge. So you got to have that set up, and then most people do. But if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. So that's kind of it with the app initially. Couple things. If you are... one thing is, if you're not logged in, like if I was logged out and I'm trying to, it's like, where do I enter my points? It's not showing me where to enter my points. See, that button's gone. But when I log in, now that's there. It gives me my total and it gives me my place to enter my points. So if you're having trouble with that, make sure you log in. Make sure you save your passwords, not just for your app, but also for your loyalty account if you want to do online shopping or if you need to log into that for any reason. So yeah, I think we can dive into how to score your points. So we'll get into this section here. And this is kind of just how you go through the app every day. And I highly recommend that you do this at the same time every day and that you don't miss a day. I know for myself and for many other challengers, if I miss a day or 2 days, or heaven forbid, 3 days in a row, it's really easy to completely forget the days. And it's also really easy to just give up and quit at that point because it's like, well, I've quit tracking my points. So I highly encourage you to keep your points every day at the same time. Typically, I'll do it in the morning or at night. Some people I know like to kind of keep their points throughout the day. But definitely every day, it's so important. So let's get going here. Also, one thing to keep in mind about this challenge is this is a very comprehensive health challenge that has every category you can think of in regards to holistic health for your mind, for your body, and for your soul. And so it's a very comprehensive, and because of that, I don't want people to get discouraged or to feel overwhelmed because there's so many components of it. I want people to really focus in on one area that they're really going to focus on. Keep your points in every area so that you're tracking it, so that it's coming to your mind, so that you're thinking about it, so it becomes a habit. But really only focus on one or two areas that you're really trying to improve in. So for me, this will be my 10th challenge. So most of this stuff is already built in. I certainly have room for improvement in all the areas, but most of it is already part of my daily routines. So it's not it's not overwhelming for me to do it because I already do all of it. But if you're at a place where you're new, I've been on my health journey for 11 years. We're all at different places. If you're new to this, then you're really going to want to just pick one area that you want to focus on and focus there and not worry so much about doing all the other things perfectly. So let's get going. The first section here is nutrition. And so you can see, let me get that back up here. So you can see that this is the nutrition. There's 4 point areas to keep track of in the nutrition. So let's go through those. But I want to talk a little bit about nutrition and why it's important. There's a lot of debate and has been for a few decades about plant-based versus carnivore, vegan versus keto, Atkins versus vegetarian. These are the debates we've been having. And I would say that the main question isn't plant-based versus carnivore. I would say the main thing we need to work towards is real food rather than fake food. If God made it, great. If man has fixed it, not so great. The goal is not for everyone to be vegan. I don't care if you go completely whole food, plant-based, or carnivore. The point is to improve from where you are. We are all in different places and we all need to take different steps at this time. One thing I've noticed through the years is people doing vegan or people doing keto. I've noticed that you can pretty much eat a bunch of crap either way. You can eat a bunch of processed crap going keto. You can eat a bunch of processed crap going vegan. You can do both of those diets really well. You can definitely get some really quick results cutting carbs and sugars, but the most sustainable diet that leads to the best long-term health outcomes and risk reduction for virtually every disease is the one that focuses on real whole food. And the one that cuts out crap like ultra-refined flour, processed sugars, artificial sweeteners, inflammatory oils, non-organic ingredients, GMOs, heavily processed food, fast food, fried foods, tobacco, drugs, and alcohol. Avoiding these types of foods can get you huge benefits, whether you're going vegan or keto or carnivore or vegetarian. If you're focusing on real food, that's where the biggest results and long-term results you're going to get. That's a big topic. We don't necessarily need to, that's a whole lecture in its own. But one thing is for sure, the processed sugar is one of the biggest threats to our health. And it's the dramatic increase of our consumption of sugar in all forms in the last 100 years. Hunter-gatherer populations consumed about 22 teaspoons of sugar a year. Now it's 22 to 30 teaspoons a day. In the 1800s, the average person consumed 5 pounds per year. Now we average 152 pounds a year. Our bodies are not designed to handle that amount of sugar. Pericles, the ancient Greek physician, said the dose makes the poison. And so at our current dose of sugar, it is a poison. Did you know a 20-ounce soda contains about 15 teaspoons of sugar? That's almost as much as the hunter-gatherer populations did in a year. If you drink sugary drinks, cutting them out could be one of the best things you could do for your health, period. And yes, that especially includes those sugary coffee drinks. I'm sorry. So let's talk about GMOs and chemicals, organic versus non-organic, GMO, non-GMO. So quickly, just a summary of that. I watched a movie and it's on your list. It's called Secret Ingredients. And they kind of summarized that Roundup was invented as an industrial drain cleaner. So it was a very potent chemical that knocked the crap out of drains. And what they found is where that spilled onto the ground outside these industrial plants, it killed all the vegetation. And so they developed it into an herbicide or something that could kill weeds. But over time, what they found was that it was killing weeds, but it was also killing the crops. And this is about the time that GMOs came along, and scientists started playing with how to genetically modify crops so that they would withstand to Roundup. That's what's called a Roundup ready crop. And so not only, and I believe God made the food to genetically fit with our bodies, right? But if you go and genetically alter that food, now it's not matching. And then on top of that, if you go spray an industrial drain cleaner on the food, we might end up with some issues, okay? Another thing to point out is simple meals. We've been taught since we were little the food pyramid, right? And there's all these food groups, and we should be getting all these food groups together. But one of the main things probably in the whole history of the world is people have only had like one or two things at a time because that's all that was available. Plus, different types of foods digest at different rates. So if we just eat fruit, our body's digesting that pretty fast, and it can work on that and deal with that at one time. If we eat protein, we can work on that. The body's slower at digesting protein. It takes more energy, takes more effort to break that down. Then but if we start mixing all these things together, that's when we can get problems because things are digesting at different rates. And the big no-no is actually mixing starches and proteins. So I know there's a lot of debates like we talked about with vegan and carnivore. And I wonder if one thing I've noticed is people who are vegetarian and actually like this Weimar place, they really go plant-based and they really go with the starches and the carbs and the gluten, and it's all good. Like it's whole food. They go whole food, but it's like you can eat these starchy things. And then people who are going more carnivore are like, no, all those starchy vegetables and fruits and whole grains they try to avoid. And I wonder if it isn't more about the fact that those two things don't mix, right? With vegetarians, they can do the grains because those work together fine because they digest at the same rate. But with proteins and starches together, the food actually spoils in the gut because things aren't working quite right. So it's funny, most of our favorite foods today are all like burgers and pizza and sandwiches and paninis and like you name it, it's always starches and not even just whole food starches, but like super processed carbohydrates mixed with protein and unhealthy proteins. And so you're not only getting the bad combination of the foods, but you're getting unhealthy versions of both of them. So anyway, the first time I heard about food combination, I was like, oh, that's way over my pay grade. I'm not there yet. So if you're not there, don't worry about it. I certainly don't do that perfectly, but it's something that I like to know about and that I like to try to apply as I'm able over time. And that's the thing with all this stuff, guys, is I've slowly over time, right? Linda Clayville, the founder of Nature's Pantry, always told me, don't focus on getting rid of all the bad things in the world. Focus on adding in one good thing, one day at a time. Because here in a year, 2 years, 3 years down the road, as you keep doing this, you're going to start to crowd out the bad stuff because your tastes are going to change. You're going to start feeling better from eating better. So it's going to naturally happen. And these little things, I remember hearing about some of this stuff, and I thought people were crazy for going to these extremes. But over time, as I've had the bandwidth and energy and time to think about it and apply it in my life and experience it, then I've found the benefits and it's become easier and easier. Another thing I think, so with simple meals, I think it's okay to think about eating meals that are simple, that are a couple things, it's if you want to eat vegetables and a protein together, that goes well together. If you want to eat starches and vegetables together, that goes to go together. If you want to eat fruit, it's good to eat that by itself. And so it doesn't have to be perfect, but these are some goals, or just, I'm going to simplify it, right? Like I'm not going to do that food combination perfectly, but I'm going to simplify my meals more, like 2 or 3 simple, real whole foods for my meals instead of 7 or 8 or 10 things that my body's having to process. Another thing to keep in mind is seasonal changes. If we look at God's creation and you see the different seasonal changes, you see that in the summer time, we have lots of fruits and vegetables and grains growing. But in the winter, we may have to can some of these things or ferment some of these things. And what's more available is animal products. So sometimes I think that is potentially something to consider. You think about it. One of the things that really, and I know I talk about God, I talk about creation, and it's okay if you don't believe that. I'm totally open and would love to have conversations with you, whatever your worldview, whatever your point of view is. I'm just sharing from my heart. I'm sharing from my experience and the things I've learned. And so it's okay if you don't share those ideas. But one of the things that really convinces me of creation is the way that the storms in the winter follow the mountain ranges and just pack the snow in the mountains. And then as the spring comes in the summer, you have water coming down into the valleys through the streams all summer long, supplying us with water. And then amazingly, in the wintertime and in our part of the world, we have fish that come from the ocean, huge salmon and steelhead. They're just like huge steaks of meat that swim. I don't even know. It might be a couple thousand miles to get to us here. And right in the winter, when we're out of food, when we need that kind of food, right, to sustain us. Also, you think about, too, with like the deer and elk. In the wintertime, the snow pushes them down into the valleys. And we're able, I'm sure Native Americans and indigenous cultures really, thrived on that because now that it's a lot easier to hunt them and harvest them. And so these are some seasonal things that I think are important too. And eating fruits and vegetables that are in season is, I think, really ideal and what we were designed for. It's also important to remember that you are what you eat. Your cells are constantly regenerating, and they are remade of what you eat. Your skin is regenerated every 2 to 4 weeks. Your hair for men is 3 years, women is 6 years. Your liver is as often as 150 days. It's completely regenerated. Stomach and intestines are regenerated every 5 days. Bones are constantly being regenerated, but complete regeneration takes up to 10 years. So, I think that another point is whether you go with a plant-based diet or whether you go more on the keto or carnivore end, at the end of the day, this is how I cut through the crap, right? That we get this, we're constantly bombarded with this confusing information. Fats are bad, fats are good. No carbs are bad, no carbs are good. Carnivore is good, vegan is good, carbs are bad again. No, you need carbs for energy. This is the kind of stuff we're getting, or this is this new superfood you need to eat, or this is the supplement you need to eat, right? And so we're constantly getting marketing messages at us. And I really think the food and diet industry really thrives on us being confused because they can sell us the next thing. But here's how I cut through all that crap. I look at this. Is this a food that God made? Or is it been modified by man? Was it designed to go with the human body, or is it altered? And also, I like to keep in mind moderation in all things, right? So if I'm going extremes and just eating only meat, or if I'm going extremes and only eating vegetables, I think we were designed to be very metabolically flexible and to be able to survive in extreme circumstances. But I think over the long term, we're going to end up with some issues if we're just doing one thing or we're cutting out certain things, because we need a complex and vitamins and minerals and nutrients and enzymes and micronutrients and phytochemicals and proteins and carbs and fats. And there's so many things that the human body needs that we can't get all from one thing. I think it's also important to keep in mind that there's different stages in life and different goals. A 20-year-old bodybuilder may need to eat a lot more animal protein to reach his goals, but a 65-year-old whose goal is longevity may want to eat more easy-to-digest plant foods. Prevention requires moderation, but reversal of disease requires restriction. So while it may take some fewer modifications in our diets to prevent things, once we're in a chronic disease state, now it's going to take more discipline, more action, more restriction. It takes a lot more effort and strict adherence to dietary restriction to reverse a disease than it does to prevent it. For instance, Dr. Dean Ornish allows some oil in the diet for prevention for heart disease, but with patients he's trying to reverse heart disease, he allows no oils at all, which it's a whole food plant-based, and he allows oils for some. Remember the old saying, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. It usually takes a lot more changes in diet and lifestyle to reverse a disease than to prevent it. Food is medicine. When diet is wrong, medicine is of no use. When diet is correct, medicine is of no need. Food is medicine. Food has the power to heal us. It is the most potent tool we have to help prevent and treat many of our chronic diseases. Truly, what you put on your fork dictates whether you are sick or well, slim or fat, depleted or energized. And that is a quote from the book, The Daniel Plan, page 86. When you provide the conditions for a thriving human being and you remove the impediments to health, disease often simply goes away as a side effect. Another quote from the Daniel Plan. If you learn how to shop and eat in ways that can heal you rather than in ways that cause disease, your grocery store can become your pharmacy. Is eating healthy too expensive? Unfortunately, today, many of us find that the best way to trim our budget is to cut grocery costs at the expense of our health. Many of us have a lot of fixed expenses, but the grocery one is the one we can control. Most of us in America spend less than 6% of our income on food, while people in Europe spend 9 to 13%. We need to come to the realization that health is the greatest wealth, and it should not be put at the expense of our budget. What good are all the material possessions in the world if we don't have the health to enjoy them? Or more importantly, enjoy life itself and our family and friends. To have the health to live our lives to the full, to live life to our fullest potential. And even though I think you should put your food and your health at the top of your budget list, the truth is buying real whole food is often actually more affordable than buying processed and packaged and heavily marketed food. Let's debunk the myth up front. We have been led to believe that eating well is expensive and that cooking your own food takes too much time. The facts are quite different. The research shows that you can eat well and in less time for less money than buying processed foods. There's many times, as we've been on this journey, Misty and I, that we go out to eat and we figure out, oh my gosh, that costs tons of money. It took way more time and we don't feel as good. And we could have done something way faster. But that's because we're used to cooking. That's because we practiced it over the years and we've gotten fast and efficient and we have the stuff. And we know all the shortcuts and the ways to eat simple, real, whole foods in a fast way on a budget. Even if it were more expensive to eat real whole food, it would be well worth it, considering the increase in quality of life, decrease in disease and healthcare costs. The diet and lifestyle program we teach in this challenge are concepts that have the power to transform your life and the current healthcare system. We could stand to save billions, yet there remains considerable barriers, namely the food establishment, nearly $1 trillion annually, and the medical establishment, about $4 trillion annually, who hold considerable influence through the government and media and insurance companies. I think even if we had a law for insurance that would cover natural remedies and naturopathic practitioners and naturopathic medicine and in general, you want to see conventional medicine go away, but you would see the playing field get equal. We actually have kind of a monopoly going in the healthcare industry. And when AT&T had that monopoly, we broke up the telecommunication industry. So, that would be really amazing if we ever got that, because the playing field would be so much more even.
Hey, it's Nicole Haggerty, your holistic health and fitness coach. If you want to improve your health and life and get lasting results, you have to be the change you want to see. Let me help you be that change. Find me at NicoleHaggerty.com.
Hey, Eastern Oregon. My name is Justin Hernandez. I specialize in sports performance training for middle school, high school, and college athletes. My program goal is to optimize an athlete's potential on all playing surfaces. The Breakfast Club motto is creating elite athletes, but even better leaders.
This is Summer Steele of Body Seorsa. I am a licensed massage therapist and certified personal trainer. I work with bodies of all shapes, sizes, and abilities to help them live a fuller and freer life. Connect with me on Instagram and Facebook under Body Seorsa, Body Saorsa, or contact me at 541-786-5245.
My name is Blake Bars, and I'm General Manager of Nature's Pantry here in La Grande. I had a terribly unhealthy lifestyle when I started working here. I just didn't know how simple and powerful healthy habits could be. Now I love being able to lead others to vibrant health here at the store, through the health show, and in the health challenges we host twice per year. Learn more at naturespantry.life.
Hey friends, Lacey here with Wild Holistic Nutrition and Fitness. As a certified personal trainer and holistic nutritionist with 17 years of experience, I'm passionate about guiding others in their journey to wellness. I work in the areas of sports performance, group and individual fitness, personal training, behavioral and nutritional coaching, and gut biodome health and assessment. I'd love to help you feel good so that you can thrive and meet the purpose you were made for.
Tim James here, founder of ChemicalFreeBody.com and host of the Health Hero Show. After regaining my own health and having massive gut issues and surgery, I'm on a mission to help others do the same. If you're ready to make your health a priority, lose that weight, increase your energy, and just wake up and feel good, you can reach me at ChemicalFreeBody.com.
Okay, so nutrition, we talked about that. So let's go ahead and I'm going to take my points here. So nutrition, this is your points for nutrition. I gave myself 25 points. This is for yesterday. I have 1 to 10 points for every meal with real, organic, whole, plant-based, and or minimally processed ingredients. So this keyword and or, it means that these are not exact rules or requirements. This is a goal. The goal is progress, not perfection. If the meal is an improvement for you and meeting your goals, give yourself points. Okay. So if you're normally eating McDonald's for lunch and you eat a salad, whether it's organic or not, or whether it's an improvement for you, I would give you 10 points for that meal. Right. So if I have 10 points for every meal, I got 30 points. Okay. So my standards after 11 years at this are a little higher than that, but, little by little. 2 points for every serving of whole fruits and veggies, preferably organic. 1 serving is half a cup. So if you do 10 servings, that's 20 points, okay? And I'm also throwing in this 10 bonus points for 30 or more grams of fiber. So I think this is a whole lecture on its own, but fiber is so important. Prebiotic fiber, insoluble fiber, soluble fiber. All these fibers are so important for your gut health and for getting the colon swept out and for feeding probiotics. Prebiotic fiber feeds probiotics and they create postbiotics, which is so important for cellular energy production and your immune system and and hormone production and so much. So there you go. So I gave myself 25 because I was close to. I've been doing this a while. So here we go. 1 to 20 for avoiding ultra refined flour, unapproved sweeteners, unapproved oils, non-organic ingredients, GMOs, heavily processed food, fast food, fried foods, tobacco, drugs, and alcohol. If I avoid all these things in a day, I'm going to give myself 20 points. If I have a couple, I'm going to start taking points off. Okay. So I did have a couple things. So I took 5 points off for the day. Okay. So let's talk about fasting and TRE. So fasting and TRE are very similar, or rather intermittent fasting and TRE are very similar. They've both been shown to improve overall health and reduce the risk of virtually all disease. Intermittent fasting and TRE, these are very similar. They're just types of restricted eating. TRE, or time-restricted eating, is different in that it calls for eating to happen within a specific window of time during daylight hours every day. For instance, right now, I'm trying to eat between 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. So I'm fasting from 6 p.m. to 10 a.m. every day. So that's a total of 16 hours of fasting every day. I actually didn't do that very good yesterday, so I gave myself 10 points for that because it was 10 hours is really about what I did yesterday. I worked late into the night and ate a late meal. So let's go here. So really the idea with TRE is to align your eating with your circadian rhythm. When the sun comes up, if you get natural sunlight, I hope you're not just inside, but really when you get up, you really need to be getting natural light. And if you're not getting natural light, like in the winter when it's dark forever, it might, especially if you struggle with sleep or depression, some light therapy is an option. I can give you more information about that if you ask. So when the sun comes up, your body ramps up producing serotonin and your digestive system gets up to full speed. As the sun goes down, serotonin gets converted to melatonin and everything starts to slow down, including your digestive system. When I went to Weimar, they recommended a TRE window from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. because they believe this is when your body is at the best digesting and processing foods, and that the digestive powers weaken during the late afternoon and evening until the sun comes up the next day. I think that probably makes sense, and I'll probably work to that over time. But right now, with kids and a family, with my lifestyle, that's not, and I'm going to prioritize my family over this TRE. So there's times when we have to pick which of these health things is the most important to us and focus on that and prioritize it over other things. Okay. But I think especially as we get older, we could benefit from going to a shorter eating window like this and looking at doing like 2 meals a day. The idea really is that you're giving your digestive system a lot more time to rest. Okay. And the digestive system cannot heal itself unless it can't heal itself while it's working on food. Okay. Digesting takes a lot of energy and a lot of power from our body. And so when we break from food, when we're fasting, the body puts all its energy into healing, into restoring, into cleaning out junk, into detoxing. There's several doctors I've read that really use fasting as part of their protocols for healing really, really hard chronic issues that people have seen multiple doctors for and never have any results. But definitely fasting is not something you want to do without consulting your doctor and without learning and knowing and being confident in your body. It's usually recommended that fasting, that you would nutrify your body and get in a good health condition before you start fasting. But again, we're not talking about like long-term water fasting in the health challenge. We're just talking about intermittent fasting and time-restricted eating. Okay, so this is not days without food. This is just your normal fast, because you always fast at night, right? Well, we should at least be sleeping through the night and not eating, but we're just making that window longer. One thing I may try during this challenge kind of one of my goals is to try to do a 3-day juice fast. I've done 24 hours without food. I know I have some friends who've done a lot longer than that. But again, that's something you really need to consult your practitioner. If your practitioner knows about natural health and holistic healing, even better. But yeah, so one of the things, I like is a doctor who would have some really hard patients that would come in and have tried so many things and nothing works. And he would put them on a fast right away. And at Weimar, they actually do that too, but it's under medical supervision. But he would say, if you were going to repair the New York City sewer system, you would dang sure shut it off before you went in there. And then you would do all the repairs and you wouldn't turn it back on until all the repairs were done and you were out of there. So when our body repairs itself, we need to turn off the sewer system, let the repairing happen, and make sure it's done before we turn it back on. And certainly there's some huge benefits to fasting. And if you look into it and talk to your doctor, your body actually starts to make stem cells after 72 hours or so. It goes into autophagocytosis, where it's big programmed cell death. Your body starts cleaning out damaged cells, detoxing at a really high powered level. So there's some great benefits to it. But again, I may work into a 3-day juice fast. We'll see. We'll go one day at a time with that. Okay, so let's get into. So my points for that. I gave myself 10 points. The max is 24 for 24 hours. If that's the level you're at, and you're confident with that, and you've worked with your doctor. Okay, so supplements. Supplements. People always ask me, if I eat a dense, nutritious diet full of vitamins and minerals, I don't need to take supplements, do I? And I say this is partly true. Supplements supplement the diet. They do not replace the diet. They are called supplements, not replacements. The foundation is always the diet. And then we supplement the diet with specific supplements for specific purposes. The problem today is that our bodies are overburdened with toxins. And the thing about it is toxicity and nutrient deficiency are two sides of the same coin. When our cells are full of nutrients, they will not take the toxin. But when our cells are deficient, now they'll take toxins in. But once it's taken the toxin, it won't let go of that. Even you start giving the cell the nutrients, it doesn't take the nutrients. It will keep the toxin until you flood the body with nutrients. Once you flood the body with nutrients, then it starts to say, okay, I'll let go. And this is why Max Gerson's cancer therapies work so well, because he flooded the body with nutrients, and then he aided the body's detox processes. And that was the premise of his whole program. And it's still around today. Many people do it, and it's a very powerful program. This is also why things like hot springs, soaking in a hot springs work, because your body takes in all the sulfur through the skin, and way more than it normally gets, and then it decides, I'll let go of those heavy metals. And that's why that nutrient will unlock that detoxing, because you're flooding the body with that nutrient. So just like with diet, there's no one size fits all. The same things with supplementation. Yes, there are certain things that I think pretty much everybody could take. We're pretty much all vitamin D deficient. We're pretty much all magnesium deficient. We're pretty much all getting too much omega-6 and not enough omega-3. But most of us could be taking a high-quality multivitamin and a probiotic. But there are so many things that are very uniquely needed by each individual. So it's not a one-size-fits-all. I talk to people who are taking like 30 supplements, and they just added things slowly over time. And this is what I like to call the shotgun approach. We're just throwing everything at it and hoping something works. And we're not really evaluating our needs and our goals and our health issues and getting professional help with those goals. I like to assess these things and then try to get people taking the least amount of supplements possible to meet their needs and their goals. If you're a VYHC Plus member, you can schedule a free 1-hour consult with me. That's one of the benefits of being a VYHC Plus member. And I will help you find what the best supplement plan is for you. Okay, so again, I'd actually typically will get my 20 points because everything I take, and this would be, I would count herbal tea here. I would count protein powder. I would count greens powder. I would count electrolyte powders. If you have a question about something that you're not sure if you should count it or not, just send me a note and I'll let you know. But yeah, I take definitely, I would give myself probably more than 20 points if 20 points were possible. But actually yesterday it was so late at night, I didn't take all my stuff. So I just gave myself 10 because that's about what I took. Okay, so water. Every system in the body works better when you're hydrated. So many of us are dehydrated today. We really need to focus on this and work on this. You know, when I first started drinking half my body weight in ounces, I had to pee a lot. But once my body adapted to being hydrated, it was like, yes, give me this amount of water. And so now I've been doing this for so long that if I don't get at least 80 ounces, which is half my body weight in ounces, because I weigh 160, then I start to feel very dehydrated. And when it was hot the other day, I probably drank like 200 ounces. I was outside working, shoveling gravel and shoveling dirt and doing some yard work. And I drank so much. So that will vary, especially if you're exercising or in the heat. But on a normal day, half your body weight in ounces, that's the baseline. You can definitely tell if your pee should be clear and it should have a lot of volume. And if that's not the case, then you're probably dehydrated. We also want to make sure we're getting proper electrolytes when we're hydrating like that, because we don't want the water to just be running through us and stripping minerals. We want to be replacing that with things like sea salt, a quality electrolyte powder, and coconut water is great for that. Watermelon is a great electrolyte. So keep those things in mind as well. Sea salt has 86 electrolytes and minerals. The body is over 60% water, so it needs it. The brain and heart are 73% water, and the lungs are 83% water. Your body, your cells, and organs all function better when you're properly hydrated. Adequate hydration helps your immune system fight off illness and disease, while dehydration increases the likelihood and the severity of illness and disease. Drinking half your body weight in ounces every day is ideal, but if you aren't there yet, that's okay. Start with a quart per day. Work your way up to what is realistic and attainable for you. Start there. Okay, so here's the deal with the water. 20 points if you get half your body weight or more. 10 points if you do a third of your body weight. Okay, I know some people who just can't do that much, and that's okay. If that's because of your specific needs, if you need to do less than that, I'm going to still give you 10 points. But you got to do at least a third of your body weight, okay? Okay, so sleep, so important. Your body is repairing, recovering, detoxing. Definitely 7 to 9 is ideal. Over 9 is not as good, not good unless you're like sick or have some special circumstances. Over 9 is not good for you. Less than 7, less than 6 is not good. You get 20 points, but if you get between 7 and 9, and 10 points for 6 to 7. But if you're less than 6, nothing. And if you're over 9, nothing. Okay, so again, sleep. If you're going to bed too late or not getting enough rest, you can short circuit your physical and emotional health. Conversely, getting regular, adequate rest can support the immune system and long-term health. Adequate sleep increases energy and mental function. Adequate sleep decreases stress and cortisol levels, hunger and obesity and depression. And if you need help in this area, please come talk to me. We have a lot more information about sleep for you. Exercise. Okay, so what did I give? I got 20 points because I pretty much, this is an area it's kind of automatic for me. Sometimes I get up too early to work out or play golf, and so I cut into that a little bit. So some days I might be getting 10 because I'm getting closer to the 6. But I pretty much always am trying to get at least 7. Exercise and stretching. Exercise is so important. Exercise will increase your mood, increase your endorphins, increase your sense of well-being, energy levels, blood circulation, sexual function, relaxation, sleep, skin health, oxygen supply, removal of toxins, and immunity. Exercise will decrease your blood sugar. It decreases your blood sugar, your blood pressure, your blood fats, risk of cancer, risk of disease, and body fat. Try to do some form of exercise every day, even if it's just a short walk or stretching. Start with something. What is the kind of exercise, the best kind of exercise that will do all of these things? It's the kind of exercise that you will do. So find something you like to do, because if you like to do it, you will do it. I like to lift weights. I like to do a lot of push-ups and pull-ups and squats, and I run and I stretch. And I love to play golf, and I do that. I kind of alternate. A few days a week, I go out early in the morning and walk 9 holes. And a few mornings a week, I work out. And some days I do both. Some days I hike. Some days I work outside doing manual labor. Some days I play basketball. There's so many things I like to do physical that I just, it's built into my life. And there was a time when I didn't have that habit built in as well as I do now. And here's the thing too, like, I think sometimes people will have a few days where they fail, and then they'll be like, well, just forget the whole thing. But what I would say, what really worked for me is there'd be a few days or a few weeks where I stopped doing it, but I just kept going back until the point where today, like if I go 2 days without exercise, I do not feel good, and I want to get going on my push-ups and my pull-ups and my squats and my stretching, and my running. So that I'm at the point now where that's about as long as I will go as 2 days. And I like to do it at least every other day. I exercise every day, but with the strength training and the running is at least every other. So exercise, so this is a neat one. So grounding is really good for you. Your bodies are electrical, and so you should be putting your feet, bare feet, on the ground, grass, dirt, whatever you got, directly connected to the earth, and it has the amount of health benefits are amazing. So you can get 5 bonus points for 30 minutes of grounding. So if I do my stretching on my lawn barefoot, I'm going to give myself those bonus points. Or if I go out and play with the kids for 30 minutes, or, walk on the golf course barefoot and do some putting or something, whatever it is for you. But don't ground while you're holding a electrical device like a cell phone or something like that. You should ground without touching those type of devices. And again, this is a whole lecture in its own. And this is obviously optional if you want to do the grounding or not. It's just a bonus point. But I did not get my grounding points yesterday, but I did get all my exercise because I did like an hour and a half of workout in the morning, and then I did an hour and a half of physical labor at a project I'm working on at home last night. Maxed out so fresh air and sunshine. This is so important for us. Every kind of disease, including cancers, thrives where there's a lack of oxygen. Exposing just your face to sunlight for a short amount of time produces vitamin D. It's about half an hour for 10,000 international units of D in midday, which is critical for your immune system. Sunlight can also help your mood and help with seasonal affective disorder. So these are important things. Again, these are some of the free things that God has made for us that are right there. And so many of us don't get this. We're indoors all day looking at screens, so we're not getting fresh air or natural light. So deep breathing, this is such a big topic that I'm just learning about, but it's so profound and the impact is really good. It can really increase your oxygen levels. It can increase your mood. It can relax you. It can help you to reduce anxiety. That's actually one of the benefits of exercising is that it helps you breathe. So one of the things when I exercise and I stretch, I really focus on breathing. One of the things I found was I was really kind of bad at inhaling. Like I didn't breathe like full deep breaths into my belly. I was just shallow breathing. And I also wasn't very good at like taking long, deep breaths. So I've been working on that and really getting better and really focusing like in my workouts. I'll do like if I'm doing a squat, I will inhale on the way down and exhale on the way out. Or vice versa. I just make sure I'm doing the breath with the rhythm of the exercise. And when I'm running, I make sure I'm breathing. There's times when I'm stressed out and I'm like thinking about something and I'm like, wait a second, like I'm literally holding my breath right now. And so definitely want to focus on this. This is an important thing for our health. There's some amazing studies out there which showed people who did this for, a few weeks, just the benefits were amazing. So there's a few different ways to do this. This gives you an example. You do 4 breaths per minute, 5 minutes of breathing. So you breathe in for 15 seconds, hold it for 15 seconds, breathe out for 15 seconds, and hold it. Well, I think it's 5. Anyway, I can give you more on that later. You can look up online some exercises. Find the ones that work best for you. Summer tells me to do 3 seconds inhale, 6 seconds exhale. Hydrotherapy, okay? Hydrotherapy is amazing. I'm kind of running out of time on this class, or else I would talk more about this, but hydrotherapy basically is hot and cold, and that's creating a dilation and vasoconstriction. So it's creating a pump in your body, and it's getting your blood moving, it's getting your lymph moving, it's getting your immune system moving. At Weimar, they did this with several of their elderly people in their community, and that's the only thing they did for COVID, and nobody died in that community. So it's a really powerful free therapy. You can do this in the shower. You can do 1 minute, 3 minutes hot, 1 minute cold. You can also do a sauna for 10 minutes and then a 1 minute. So I prefer the cold plunge if I just don't have one, so I'm doing the shower. But if you could do ice baths, that is awesome. If you have any questions about how to accomplish any of those, please reach out to me. Screen time. Anxiety is on the rise. People are having little to no solitude and no quality social interaction. There's a book called Digital Minimalism, and it's not talking about getting rid of technology altogether, but using it for what adds value to our lives while maximizing it's so we can prioritize things that have the most meaning and are most fulfilling in our lives over technology. So use the technology for the things and the ways it benefits and adds value, but minimize the way it detracts and the things that we prioritize quality social time with family and boundaries in our life, and reading a book or exercise or things over the digital stuff. So I have several things that I'm already doing from this book that are amazing. One thing I'm doing is just trying to not pack my phone with me as much as everywhere I go. So I'm trying to leave it when I go around the store or when I'm at home, trying to leave it places and not just have it on me all the time. I'm getting rid of apps that I don't use. I'm turning off all unnecessary notifications. Trying to check my phone less. I notice I have impulsively check my phone, like my texts and my emails. So trying to think okay, what do I want to do? Do I want to try to do all my texts at this time of day or all my emails at this time of day? Do I want to not check email after 10 a.m.? Do I want to have a scheduled time? Phone calls are more quality conversation than texting. So maybe I need to prioritize phone calls. Obviously, face-to-face is better, but a phone call is better than a text. So we need to maximize quality social interaction. The thing is, people don't have solitude. They don't have quality solitude these days because they're always, solitude is not having an input from somebody else's brain. So even if you're listening to music or listening to an audiobook or talking to somebody or on scrolling social media, this is input from somebody else's mind. Solitude is just your mind and not influence from somebody else's mind. And this is lacking in today's society, and it's so important for us, for our mental and social and spiritual well-being. But also solitude is important, but also quality social interactions is important. So having that quality connection with people is so important. Face-to-face, hugs, the facial expressions, the tone of voice, the closeness to people. And so right now we're in an era where people are not getting solitude and they're not getting quality interaction. So anxiety and depression and all these mental health issues are skyrocketing because of it. Another idea I liked was for one gal at Weimar, she said she would have a bowl. So anybody who came over her house, if she had a family dinner, everybody who came in had to put their phone in the bowl and they could get it when they leave. We're talking about doing that at our home, and then maybe have no phones at the dinner table and no checking phones while visiting with people face to face, like at lunch or meetings, or no phones until the kids are in bed, or no phones in the bedroom for sleeping time. Other things like Facebook. Can I take the app off my phone and just check it on my computer? There's also some people who are going to Nokia phones, the old Nokia flip phones. They're going to a phone. There's a light phone that has only a phone, text, calendar, and it's just very limited. There's also an app called Brick that will brick your phone. So you can have this little device that you set it up so only certain apps are available, and you can unlock certain apps, but you can only unlock them when you go close to the brick. So I could keep my brick out at my dad's house in Cove and not have access to all these apps unless I actually went over there. Or keep it at home while you're at work, or keep it at work while you're at home. So these are some ideas for you. So screen time, the point here is to minimize screen time. We want to 10 points for less than 2 hours of recreational screen time, and 20 points for less than 1 hour. Okay, so I did really good yesterday because I didn't have time, so I was 20 points. Okay, so now we're getting into the spiritual, mental, social health section. And so let's take this from the top. Did you know that 9 out of 10 illnesses originate in the mind? Fear, anxiety, anger, unforgiveness, negative thinking, and stress wreak havoc on the immune system and your overall health. Conversely, faith, trust, love, forgiveness, positive thinking, and a relaxed mindset are life-giving and health-preserving. Turn off the news and social media, start a thankfulness and or prayer journal, read and watch uplifting and or educational materials, spend time with people who focus on the positive and build you up. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna kind of not spend a lot of time on this. Again, I'm gonna work on lectures for each of these individual topics in the future, but positive social time. Social time is so important. You wouldn't believe the studies out there that show that socialization reduces all your chances of every disease and it boosts your health. So isolating isn't good for you. Okay? 5 points for every 30 minutes. I did not as good as I normally did yesterday because I was busy doing things. 10 points for every 30 minutes of prayer, Bible time, gratitude journal, music, praise, hymns, classical, and or nature time. So these are things feeding our mind and soul, things that fill us up. Jesus said, out of the overflow of the heart, the mouth speaks. So what are we filling up our hearts with? Let's fill our hearts up with positive things, okay? At Weimar, there was a lecture they did on music therapy, and they found that praise and hymns and classical music had a profound impact on the frontal lobe. So these are the types of things that we want. We want some music actually damages the brain, whereas certain music like this actually helps. Okay, so I did good. I got a lot of that yesterday. 1 to 20 points for outward focus, like meeting a need or speaking encouragement. I didn't do a lot of this more than normal, so I didn't give myself a lot there. This is a cool one. 20 points for avoiding negative speech all day. Don't criticize, condemn, or complain. And 10 points for most of the day. 5 points for some of the day. So you can get a little bit, okay? This is so important. It's okay. You're not going to miss points for thinking it, but when it comes out of your mouth, that's where you're going to get docked points for, okay? And this is going to just I'm really excited for this edition. So this part too, this is 1 to 20 points for forgiving another, asking forgiveness from another, making amends, seeking to help deal with past hurts, hangups, and or practicing cognitive behavioral therapy. Okay, so this isn't something that I expect you to unless this is your focus. This isn't something that I think you should necessarily have to do every day. Even though in AA, they taught us to take constant personal inventory and make amends whenever necessary and just continue to do that. And that's what I put into practice every day. You know, as scripture says, forgive one another just as God forgives us. And so we want to be forgiving. We want to forgive other people. We want to receive forgiveness, and we want to ask forgiveness when we need to. So these are really important. Forgive to live. Making amends is so important. Having resentment is like taking poison and expecting it to hurt the other person. So these are things, and this is this is a lecture, and this is not, unless this is your focus, it's not something I expect you to really focus on, but it's good to remember, like, okay, am I holding something? Am I resenting somebody? Did I do something I need to ask forgiveness for? So bonus points, again, 500 points. This is for the whole challenge, okay? For all 4 weeks. 500 points per book, 50 points per movie, VYHC class that you attend, workout or class, you get points for these guys, or the Vibrant You Health Show episode. You can find those on our website at naturespantry.life. You can get points for watching those. And 20 points for a new plant-based and or whole food recipe from the cookbook list. You can get up to a maximum of 1,000 points for the entire challenge. And then personal goal. I'm personally picking the screen time, the digital minimalism as my goal. So here's the thing. I can get 20 points extra for this. And I think that I would encourage you guys to just pick one of the areas that in this whole list that you're going to focus on and make that your personal goal so you can kind of reiterate that at the end of the day, okay? All right, so I think that pretty much wraps it up. Sorry I had to kind of go through that pretty fast because I was taking so long, but I just want to encourage you all to get off to a great start. I want to be here for you, and all the health pros and all of us are here for you. We want to do this because we want to help you. We want you to live life to your fullest extent. We just pray God's blessing over each one of you, and that you would prosper in this challenge, in your health, in your spirit, and in your God-given purpose. I love you guys, and remember that small habits lead to big change. So let's get this challenge going off to a strong start because you are worth it. All right, guys. Thanks so much. It's so great to have you, and we'll look forward to talking to you soon. Good night.
The information provided in this show is intended for your general knowledge only and is not medical advice. If you have or suspect you have a specific medical condition or disease, please consult your healthcare provider. If your provider has a strong understanding of nutrition and holistic health, even better. The opinions expressed on this show are those of the host and the guest and do not necessarily reflect the views of Nature's Pantry.